and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to October Daily. And so where I left off in the last video was that I had just started prepping and organizing some of the supplies that I've purchased. And so today we're going to actually get started. And so at some point you have to decide to stop collecting products, continue taking photos, and start printing those photos out and just start committing to pages. And so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to start with my intro page and sort of how I want to start the album. And so remember, in the last video I had ended with this bird paper, this bird transparency from Allison Craft for Webster's Pages. It's been in my stash for probably more than 10 years. And so I'm going to start with that because that's something I really wanted to get in the album. So that's a great starting point. And then I went ahead and printed out my photo for day one. And it's just a fun little picture of our cat staring at us down the stairs, waiting impatiently for dinner probably. And so I thought I would use the little Tim Holtz die to make it look like that spider is tempting her, like she's looking at it. And it's a full page photo. And so then once I know the photo for day one, I'm also, because it's the opening, it's what you see when you open the album. I know I want to just sort of stack a few things on top. And so I had talked about the page lifter in the album. And so that's an opportunity to sort of add a few things. I am going to go ahead and turn on my glue gun because I think that that's how I'm going to need to adhere this down. So let me get that warming up for now. But that's a cute little opportunity to go ahead and start adding something. And then of course the transparency that I have in mind. Another something that came to me were these little numbers. They're from Studio Calico, and I don't know, they're a little bit big for the photo, so I might put them on the transparency. But they're from a couple of years ago. They're just little vellum numbers, and one is a lighter orange, and the other one is sort of a darker orange. So that's where I'm going to get started. Let me go ahead and speed up the video, and you'll get to see how I do just a couple of days here, just starting out the album. So you can see here how I'm attaching these vellum numbers to the transparency. And what I always say whenever attaching things like this that are sort of opaque, kind of see-through, is to position your staples intentionally as a part of the design. And so I did kind of a visual triangle, and I used 2 staples in each of those 3 areas so that they read as any other embellishments might. So just a little tip there about how I do that. And then you also saw how I flipped the transparency over and smashed the backs of those staples so that they aren't quite as abrasive to whatever's behind those staples, which of course here is going to be the photo. And so that's a really simple, fun way to go ahead and get started and jump right into the album. I've got the little page lifter here with the simple stories. This is from Happy Haunting from last year, I believe. And Ali Edwards for December Daily date for 2021. And then a little page lifter here, a second page lifter, which is the vellum. And then day one, and the journaling reads, I've always withheld kind of celebrating Halloween for myself. So this year I am all in. I am so excited for the movies, the fun costumes, and the candy. Let's go. And then of course the cat and the fun little puffy stickers from Heidi Swapp, and an older, I think that number is from Tim Holtz, and of course the stamp is from Heidi Swapp as well. So I'm gonna keep going for a little while longer today, and I will continue sharing with you the process for day two. Okay, so on to day two, and my story that I chose for that day is the story of how I'm decorating the plate rack this year. And so if you have followed me for any length of time or have watched any of my December Daily videos, then you know that this is a favorite item in my home that I decorate seasonally. The plate rack itself was passed down to me from my mom, so it has a great sentimental value. And so this is how I've decorated it for the month of October. And I had some of the bats that we put on the wall, of course. I showed those in my supply video. And originally I had thought about putting them on a vellum or on a transparency, just like this. But sometimes serendipity takes us in a different direction. And I had been looking at the Paisley Press Autumn collection and saw these templates that she does for 4x6 photos. So I thought I would do a pocket and use some pattern paper for the background, and maybe be able to use excuse me, maybe be able to use one of the bats as the pocket with vellum. And then the photo can tuck in there, and I can add a little journaling card for my story. So that's my idea. I think that's going to be really fun, and I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera out so that it will fast forward this process, and you can see how how this idea comes together. So let's see what happens. So you can see how I'm building the pocket here, and I just cut the vellum a little bit bigger than what I needed and traced around the top of that bat, and then trimmed it out just a little bit so that the vellum didn't show over the top. And then I'm going to stitch it down. And one of the things that I was wondering about was whether to stitch all the way around or just to stitch the pocket itself. And in the end, I'm glad that I stitched all the way around. I did end up getting some buckling here at this part of the stitching, and so you'll see in a minute, I'm gonna rip that side out and smooth that back out. Sometimes that just happens when you're working with vellum. I also added just a little tiny smidgen of that plaid ribbon to the photo itself. That's the first time I've ever done that. I think that's the first time I've ever sewn on a photo. Have you ever done that? But I wanted it to have a little pull tab there. And then here you can see where I'm ripping out that stitching so that I can smooth it down. And what I found was to finish that and to keep it from buckling, I went through backwards. I hope that makes sense, from the end forward. And then that smoothed it out, and I was really glad in the end that I redid that so that it looks really nice now. Okay, so I had a little more time today and thought I would continue into day 3. And so what you saw me doing at the end of the last video was just pulling some of the little 3x8, 4x8 transparencies that I had from December Daily. Some of them are from previous transparencies, and just a couple of the smaller pieces that I had here. And what I have for my story and for my photo for this day is a photo of Alan. And so, all right, funny story. Do you guys have the at-home store in your area? It's this big, like, no frills kind of home decor place. It's like Hobby Lobby without the Hims. And so we went in there looking for some Halloween decorations. But of course they're getting the Christmas products out and everything. So we went down the Christmas aisles, and I'm just here to tell you guys that there's one aisle that's all candy canes. And if you go in there and go down the candy cane aisle, tell me that it's not just absolutely mind-boggling how many candy canes there are in there. And Alan was in front of me walking through this aisle, and he turned around and that's how he looked at me, like, vert the furk. And so that is my story for that day. And so I thought I would pair the photo with one of these transparencies and do like a little flip out where there's journaling on one side and then the photo on the inside. And so I trimmed it a little narrower than the transparency so that it would clear the little so it would clear the binding. And I also think that it's not going to go in here, so I might have to punch new holes. Or is it going to go? Yeah, it's going to go. Okay, cool. So I chose one that had more of the stars. These are the white stars, and so I'm carrying over a little bit of a theme from that side. And so what I'm going to do, I think, is spell out the words on the transparency, laugh out loud. And so let me find some alphabets. Let me see if I've got enough in here. Laugh out loud. Probably. I probably have enough in here. So that way they'll stand out a little bit on the photo. And then I'll also create a really simple hair in here, and it's bugging me. Okay. I'll also create a really simple place to write that story on the back. And so let me go ahead and adjust the camera for you, and we'll fast forward this. to create the journaling spot here, this was a fun opportunity to play with product a little bit. And the Simple Stories, not Simple Stories, the Fancy Pants A Little Scary sweater paper had just a white kind of textured paper on the B side. So I grabbed that and cut it down to the size I needed. And then I'm just adding 2 little, what I call home bases for embellishments. And so stamps are a great way to start out a home base. And that's what I'm doing here with the Cocoa Daisy stamp set. And that stamp set is so cute. That was a perfect jumping off point for this journaling spot. And then just add embellishments on top. And the easiest, honestly, like the easiest embellishments are washi tape and puffy stickers. And it was really easy and simple. One of the things I loved that I did here was I used 3 different ink pads. I used the gray, the archival black, and then also that Hampton Arts orange. I have to just say that it was a really juicy ink cube. But that added a bit of color at the top, number 1, and also made that stamping feel more organic on this canvas. So I know that cut off a little bit, and I just wanted to come back and show you the finished day 3 in the album alongside of day 2. And so you can sort of see here how I finished up the journaling page here, and I just added a couple of word strips from Heidi Swap, a couple of puffy stickers from Cocoa Daisy, just layered on top of the little home bases that I made here from the stamps, and then of course the journaling there. And this is how it tips out in the album, or you could just leave it like that, but I really like how that turned out, layered over top of his facial expression. That's just a really cute little page and a really fun story that I'm glad I have in my album. So just wanted to flip through real quick so you could see days 1 through 3 in the album now. And so of course the page lifter and the vellum kind of introduction page are day 1 here with the lovely Zoe. And then day 2, which was the pocket and a photo with using a template from Paisley Press, and the little journaling tag from Simple Stories. And then of course day 3 is the little tip out page. So thank you so much for watching today and following along. I hope that you found some really fun ideas for your own album, some cute little tips and fun little things that you can incorporate into your own pages. And I hope that you will drop me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite element is, if you like how this turned out so far. And I just want to say again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.